Hello, Ken. This is my prediction and analysis for the upcoming Michigan Wolverine versus Wisconsin Badger football game. Before I get into it too much, I don't even know where to begin. Before I get into it, though, remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell down below. I do greatly appreciate it. And leave some comments. I've had some people leaving some comments on some of my videos and getting a discussion going, and I enjoy that. So let's talk about Michigan football. Let me know where you're at with them, how you're feeling about the season so far. For this one, I think this is as much a toss-up game as I have maybe ever seen. I think both teams are pretty comparable and in a pretty close spot. Michigan obviously has the better record, but I think both teams are playing pretty similar styles of football. So I'm curious to see how this one plays out, honestly. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take Wisconsin to win this one. I'm going to pick Wisconsin to win by 3. It is at Wisconsin, and that is a very difficult place to go and win. Michigan hasn't won there in a very long time. I expect that that bad streak to continue this year. Michigan's pass game just is not where it needs to be, and I don't have a lot of confidence with that getting fixed overnight. I really don't. Wisconsin's run defense is really good. I don't know what they're ranked now after the Notre Dame game. I was going to check and forgot, but they were #1 in the country going into last weekend. So regardless of what happened in the Notre Dame game, which really got away from them late in that game, and Wisconsin kind of fell apart late there. But they did play Notre Dame tight early on, and it was a very close game. It was a tough battle, and I expect this one to be very close and a very tight game throughout. I'm going to give Wisconsin a little bit of that edge because they're playing at home, so I'm going to pick them by 3. But Wisconsin was #1 in the country in rush defense, and Michigan's inability to throw the ball consistently, at least, is a big concern going into this one. I expect Michigan to come out and try to run the football. I just don't think they're, much like the Rutgers game, I don't think they're going to have a lot of success doing so. Especially after Wisconsin watches the Rutgers game, they're going to see what Rutgers did in the second half. It's on film now. They completely shut down Michigan's offense. And so I expect Wisconsin to come out and just start running whatever Rutgers was doing in the second half to stop Michigan. So you basically have a defense that now knows what was run to stop that offense and is a better defense. Wisconsin's a better defense, a more talented defense than what Rutgers has. So all those things combined is going to be a problem for the Wolverines. Running the game is really going to be rough. They are going to try, and I don't expect them to get away from it. They are committed to running the football this year, but it's going to be really tough in this one. And on the flip side, Wisconsin's kind of in the same boat. The quarterback play in the passing game just hasn't been there for Wisconsin. It hasn't looked good for whatever reason, and so I expect them to also continue to stick with the run. This is still Wisconsin. They're, of course, always going to run the football. It's what they do, and this game's going to be no different. So it's going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be a battle from start to finish, I believe. But I'm going to give the edge to Wisconsin because they're playing at home. They'll have that home crowd behind them. What do we want to see? Offensively, I think we need to see Cade McNamara be more consistent as a passer. Way too many passes last week were thrown into the dirt. And I understand playing safe in the point that you don't want to create a turnover. But if you're not even going to throw the football so that your wide receiver can make a play on it, then what are we even doing here? You know, you can't be so worried about creating a turnover and so scared to throw the football that you're just throwing it down into the dirt. That's as good as a turnover. You're not moving the ball if you're doing that. There was way too many easy passes that he missed. So he's got to be more consistent as a passer if this offense is really going to bust out and do anything. Wide receivers have to continue to take strides forward. I think Cornelius Johnson is starting to step up, and that's a good thing to see. I think the play calling needs to help those guys get more involved. I want to see more jet sweeps. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know why there isn't much of a screen game for Michigan. You got some decent speed I mean, we've seen the speed on the jet sweeps and the punt returns. You know, you got guys that can run. Get them the ball and just see if they can make a play out there on the edges and a little screen pass. Get them involved in that way. Make it a little bit easier on everybody. It's an easier completion for your quarterback. It's an easier, you know, catch for your wide receivers to make. Why are we making this so difficult on ourselves? And for the love of Peter, run more play action. In this offense, there is no such thing as too much play action. Definitely need more play action. I would like to see some RPOs. I mean, there is no sign of modern football in this offense other than running out of a pistol set or shotgun. But there's no RPOs. There's no pick routes. You know, there's very little screen plays. It's just, I'm not a fan of the passing offense. It's going to be a major reason why Michigan loses this game. And it's an issue, and it's a problem, and I don't see it getting corrected. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but these are the same issues that we've always had since Gaddis took over. It's still the same. It still looks the same. It still has the same problems, and nothing's going to change overnight. He's had multiple years to fix this thing, and it still hasn't gotten done. So, not to sound like Mr. Negativity or Debbie Downer, I just want to give my reasons why I think Michigan's really going to struggle in this one, why they're not going to be able to pull away, and why they're ultimately going to fall to the Wisconsin Badgers. Offensive line, I don't really have anything bad to say about the offensive line. I don't believe that the offensive run game being stagnated against Rutgers was their fault. I mean, you're just getting overloaded in the box. It's impossible for those guys to block all the defenders that Rutgers was putting in the box, so I can't really put it on them. The play calling put them in a bad position. There's no way they can win that matchup. They just don't have the numbers. So I'm just going to say for the offense to keep doing what you're doing. I haven't seen any major issues. The pass protection's been pretty good. McNamara, for whatever reason, has rushed some throws. I don't feel like he's really been put under pressure that much this point to the season. There's really no reason for him to be rushing his throws and to be throwing the ball in the dirt. I'm not putting that on the offensive line either. Overall, I think the group's been pretty good. A few false starts and some penalties, especially out of Vistardis at center, so we got to clean that up a little bit. I guess I could point to that. Be a little bit more disciplined. But other than that, you know, overall, as far as, you know, how they're blocking, that's been pretty good. Tight end group, you know, somebody other than Eric All getting involved in the passing game would be nice. If we're going to play that many tight ends, especially have 2 or sometimes 3 guys on the field, somebody else has got to be a threat in the passing game. Otherwise, you're just tipping your hand to the defense saying that we're going to run here. You might as well stack the box and one-on-one on our tight ends because nobody other than Eric All has proven they can even catch a pass. So that's another issue. But the run blocking's been great. Just continue to do that and then find ways to get open in the passing game. You know, just find a way. Defensively, this is going to be a battle. Wisconsin's got some big boys up front. That scares me a little bit because at times our defensive line has been a little bit up and down and have really struggled in consistently stopping the run game. They have a tendency to get caught up on the blocks too much, not get the separation they need when the ball carrier gets to the point of attack. So they definitely need to fix that a little bit. But other than that, the pass rush has been pretty good. I'd like to see somebody else step up. You know, it can't be all Aiden Hutchinson all the time. Somebody else has got to step up. Wisconsin, I expect, will have a tight end wherever Aiden Hutchinson is to at least double team or chip him. They'd be kind of foolish, in my opinion, not to, because nobody other than Josh Ross has really proven that they can get to the quarterback consistently. So I expect them to double Hutchinson quite a bit. So somebody else is going to have to step up. Linebacker, I hope Josh Ross can play, first of all. I was surprised how much it hurt this team when he had to come out in the second quarter and couldn't return. They just did not look like the same unit. And part of that is because he's the captain of the defense. He makes the play calls. He's a smart football player. He gets the defense in position if the offense audibles or things need to change. When the defense audibles, he is that guy. You know, he's the brains of the outfit, and he makes all those calls. So when you lose that guy, it hurts just a little bit more than if you just lost a playmaker. You lost a playmaker and a leader. So somebody else at the linebacker position needs to step up and be a playmaker. I felt like they played well. They just didn't. You lost some of that playmaking ability out of that position group when Ross came off the field. Of course, I say that, but, you know, it was it was Coulson that got the interception, you know, late in that game. So I guess the better way to put it is get some more consistent playmakers out of that position group. You know, they flashed ability; it's there. We've seen it. But again, like the defensive line outside of Aiden Hutchinson, they tend to be a little bit up and down, kind of disappear for a little while, and then show up and make a big play. So just get a little more consistent. Always be involved in the play like Ross is. I would use him as an example for the other guys. Daxton Hill's playing really well. The other safeties are playing really well. Moulton's playing pretty good in his role. Corner is still getting beat too much, especially early in the game. I don't know if they're still trying to build their confidence. You know, they've been put in some difficult situations at times, and the opponents have made some good throws. The wide receivers have made some good back shoulder catches. Those are hard to defend, but it's really, if I had to point to one thing, it's their ability to get their head around and really play the football. I feel like they're a little bit slow to get their head around. They have a hard time locating the football, so I hope that they are repping those drills quite a bit in practice and really getting them used to locating the football, because I would point to that as a weakness of theirs so far. They've been in pretty good position, honestly. It's not like they're getting burned in coverage, whether it's zone or man. They've usually been there with their guy. They just have a hard time locating the football, and that allows the receiver to go up and make a catch. So that's one thing I'd point to out of that group. You know, get a little better, maybe get a little more aggressive, especially early in the game. Roll that coverage up a little bit tighter, make those throws a little more difficult. Especially against a team like Wisconsin, where I feel like they're in the same boat as Michigan. The run game's been pretty good, but the pass game has been pretty stagnant. So don't let them get any breath of life. Make their quarterback make those difficult throws in tight coverage and see if he can do it. Because I don't think he can. He hasn't showed that he can consistently so far this year. So Mertz is. I don't think Mertz is where everybody thought he would be. I don't know if it's a lack of good receiving options around him or what the issue is there, but they're kind of in the same boat as Michigan. For whatever reason, the pass game has not gotten off the ground, so I would continue to test that if I was Michigan. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. Play calling, I don't really have anything new to say. Mike McDonald's doing a phenomenal job. I'm a big fan. I really like what he's doing there, especially as a first-time play caller. Haven't had any major issues with what he is running so far. Nothing that stands out as a really bad thing, per se. I thought he stepped up to the plate last week when the team needed him to really put the game on the defense's shoulders and to bring it home. He did that. You know, the offense scored 0 points in the second half, so it was all on the defense to keep Rutgers from closing the gap on the scoreboard, and they did that. So kudos to him and to that unit for doing great things and keeping that game from getting away from them. The offense, I've already pointed to it enough. I think Gaddis is not a good play caller in my opinion. He's got the same issues he's always had, and I just don't see it getting better. Harbaugh won't do it, but I personally feel like he should make a change. Clearly things haven't changed, right? Like, I don't know if he's waiting to see some growth or progression, but if it's there, I'm still waiting to see it. This is the same looking passing attack that has failed for the last 2 years. The play calling is continuing to fail. I mean, not running much in the way of jet sweeps last week or screen passes or anything like that. Too stagnant, too uninspired, too dull, too boring. It's just not a good offense. It's not good play calling. So, I have no expectation that's going to change. It's been years. You know, this is Josh Gaddis' third year. If it hasn't changed by now, it's highly unlikely it's going to. So we'll have to take it for what it's worth, and hopefully Michigan can find a way to get the run game going. Otherwise, like I'm predicting, they're going to lose. I think they'll lose by 3. Other predictions for the game. I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to get 2 sacks in this one. I don't really have... I was trying to think of a prediction for the offense. You know what? I'm going to say Aiden Hutchinson gets 2 sacks. I'm going to say Daxton Hill gets an interception in this one. I'm going to stick with the defense. I think it's going to be a grind offensively, so I don't want to make any too many predictions for that. Hopefully they run Haskins a little bit more. Use that battering ram. I don't think they used him enough last week either. Just more issues with the offensive side of the football. So, sorry it sounds like doom and gloom and it's coming off as really negative. I do hope Michigan wins. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not rooting for them, but, you know, I think that these teams are pretty evenly matched, and in that case, I got to give the advantage to Wisconsin because they're playing at home. So, I'm going to take Wisconsin by 3, and we'll see how everything plays out. Hopefully I'm wrong about Michigan. Hopefully things look a lot better, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So, it is what it is, and we will see how it goes. That'll wrap this one. So remember, all love, all the time. Peace.